400 native plant species in Kuwait have history and stories that have become part of the heritage of the country. But the most significant challenge they have faced is preserving their own existence. On the 2nd of August 1990, in a sneak attack, more than 100,000 Iraqi soldiers and 700 tanks, supported by air and marine forces, invaded Kuwait. The viability of the United Nations was tested during the first real emergency in the post-Cold War period. The hallmark of the world group reaction was profound among the Council members to clean off the UN Charter machinery on collective security in their push to deflect Iraq's hostility. By the 17th of January 1991, 39 countries of the coalition began to expel Iraqi troops from Kuwait. However, the nation's economic, industrial, and infrastructure sectors were affected by gigantic and devastating damages. Kuwait's oil industry was the most crushed segment of all. 798 oil wells were set alight. 6 million barrels of crude oil burned a day, with 100 million cubic meters of natural gas turned into flames.
قبل التحرير طبعا بلشوا يفجرون الآبار، وصار اللي صار، فجروا أكثر من 1000 بير، منها طبعا 727 بير مشتعل، وباقي الآبار غير مشتعلة. والآبار الغير مشتعلة هي اللي سببت البحيرات النفطية اللي شفناها عندنا. تقريبا عندنا أكثر من 300 بحيرة نفطية موجودة بالكويت. باقي الآبار المشتعلة في جميع الحقول الشمالية والغربية والبرقان والجنوبية ومنطقة الأحمدي، فمنتشرة على جميع مناطق الكويت. فكانت العملية جدا معقدة علينا بأم قدير، لأن الماء كان واصل منطقة البرقان بس ما وصل منطقة أم قدير، فكنا احنا نشغل آبار الماء ونرجعها مرة ثانية في بايبات النفط إلى المنطقة اللي نبي نكافح فيها، ونترس التوانكي لكن احنا بانينها، وبعدها نقوم عملية الإطفاء.
11,450 workers from 38 nations, along with thousands of tons of equipment, created a miracle and brought the sun back to Kuwait's sky after 9 months of darkness, 4 years ahead of predictions. The concerted efforts of 27 firefighting crews used not only familiar but also never-before-tested technologies to put out the fires in the largest ever non-military mobilization in history.
طبعا كمية المياه المستخدمة في إطفاء الآبار طبعا كانت استخدمنا من البحر. كيفية نقلها من البحر إلى حقل البرقان نفس أنابيب الغاز اللي كانت ترسل شركة نفط الكويت الغاز إلى شركة البترول الوطنية للغاز للتكرير. نفس البايبات هذه استخدم فيها ضخ الماء من البحر إلى البرقان، وكان تقريبا الامدادات اللي تم تمديدها من البايبات والمضخات تقريبا 400 كيلو متر في صحراء الكويت. طبعا كميات المياه اللي استخدمت يوميا 25 مليون جالون ماء يوميا، بما فيه إلى نهاية إطفاء الآبار وصل إلى 11 مليار و200 مليون جالون ماء. فطبعا هذه كانت كمية كبيرة من المياه كانت تغطي مساحة دولة الكويت بارتفاع 12 ملم حسب ما حسبت الكمية.
طبعا بالنسبة حق الصعوبات اللي حاشتنا، أول شيء كانت المنطقة اللي احنا نشتغل فيها منطقة أم قدير مليئة بالألغام، بحقول الألغام، لأنها كانت منطقة حدودية بيننا وبين السعودية، فكان الجيش العراقي عامل حقول الألغام وكانت تعوقنا في عملية المكافحة. فلما نبي نكافح أي منطقة تجي الفرق الخاصة في الألغام ننظف لنا المنطقة بحيث أن نقدر نعبر ونسوي شغلنا ونطلع من نفس المعبر هذا ما نتجاوزه.
وصلنا عند بير 160 بئر بي جي 160. طبعا هو يقولون عنه أم الآبار.
فيوم جربنا عليها لقيناها بير مو طبيعية، فيها حرارة عالية، بس خلينا معداتنا عليها، وسمعنا بعدين ان الشركات تتكلم ان شلون الفريق الكويتي مخلي معداته على هذا البير، هل يقدر هو يطفي هذا البير؟
طلع ان هذا البئر انه اقوى بئر في البرقان، وكان انتاجه تقريبا 8000 برميل باليوم. كان ارتفاع النار تقريبا يعدي 70 متر الى 100 متر، لكن يوم حطينا البايب وصلت الحراره بارتفاع اكثر حتى نورت برقان، حتى كلمونا من الإدارة شركة نفط الكويت شنو اللي صاير في برقان.
كان عندنا 1,000,000 جالون، عملوا لنا 1,000,000 ثاني حتى نقدر نسيطر على هذا البير. واشتغلنا طبعا من الساعة يعني من الفجر احنا نستعد له. الساعة 11 الظهر تقريبا احنا كنا خالصين من الاستعدادات، دخلنا على البير. كانت مستمرة المكافحة ما وقفت ليه تقريبا الساعة 8 بالليل، 8 شوية طفت البير.
We just put BG 160 fire out.
برافو عليكم يا شباب.
For 9 months, the fire plumes flew in the sky, threatening human lives and even affecting global warming. Kuwait breathed the dust of death, the locked chests, stained lungs, and polluted bloodstreams. Finally, on the 6th of November 1991, the Kuwaiti Emir, Sheikh Jabir Al Ahmed Al Sabah, capped the last burning oil well in Bergen, declaring a symbolic victory of the most significant firefighting battle in history. Kuwait's sunlight returned and summer came back. After the smoke had cleared, the extent of the damages was revealed. An oil trench of over 4.7 kilometers in length in the North Kuwait Bay, 366,000 cubic meters of the contaminated soil was trapped in 163 pits and a hardened layer of tarcrete. Substantial oil lakes lay on oasis and desert wildlife and infiltrated into water aquifers. And we must achieve decisive victory for a healthy environment. Our fight has begun, and life will struggle to flourish again.
After the Gulf War in February 1991, the oil wells were damaged and set on fire, resulting in oil contamination of the land around the wells. The environmental contamination occurred from oil spreading over the land surface and penetrated through the soil, forming the oil lakes. These large oil lakes and other contaminated features still exist in KOC fields, with an estimated volume of 26 million cubic meters over 114 square kilometers. The Kerp program is currently the largest environmental inland cleanup in the world.
The United Nations Compensation Commission was created in 1991 as a subsidiary organ of the UN Security Council under its Resolution 687 to process claims for losses and damage suffered as a direct result of Iraq's unlawful invasion of Kuwait.
The significant Kerp milestone in 1994, the United Nations Compensation awarded 60 claims to Kuwait and 3 claims within KOC oil field area.
An advisory panel was established in accordance with the political assurance as part of the conditions for the transfer of Kuwait Environmental Remediation Program from the UN to Kuwait in order to provide advice and recommendations to the Kuwait Nation Focal Point Board and provide an annual report on the progress in project implementation.
Our vision of this group is to reclaim the contaminated lands for developmental programs and reuse or recycle the oil through the environmental remediation program. Our mission is to reclaim the contaminated lands and remediation the contaminated soil, and finally provide an opportunity to build the local expertise.
In the initial stages of this program, the intent was to landfill most of the waste product and to bioremediate a limited amount. We in KOC, with the help of our PMC, project management consultant, wanted to maximize the amount of treatment that we do, and we approached Kuwait National Focal Point and the UN Advisory Panel, and we had an approval in 2015 for something called the Total Remediation Solution, which is our new strategy. This strategy looks at the very low-level contamination and sees the risks involved, the RBA, risk-based approach, to see if that contamination has an ecological or human effect. And if not, we will leave in place. That which is a slightly higher, we are opting for bioremediation, and for anything higher than that, we will allow for technologies before we opt for any landfill. We are hoping that in the majority we could treat most of the waste product, but if we cannot, we will limit the amount of soil that needs to go to the landfill.
Kerp priority is to remove the wet oil lake and any other heavily contaminated material that are laying on the top of aquifer level, especially in North Kuwait, to prevent any potential contamination of the underground water, where this type of material will be excavated and transported to the engineering landfill with a capacity of 1.7 million cubic meter. Due to the need to release land for KOC operation, we will construct another engineering landfill with a capacity of 500,000 cubic meter to dispose the oily contaminated soil, especially the highly TPH level in Southeast Kuwait. Moreover, as a long-term plan, we will assign several mega projects to deal with the remaining contaminated soil in North Kuwait and Southeast Kuwait. These type of projects will consist of large amount of civil work and remediation technologies that are proven and accepted.
KOC is fully committed to carry out all its operations with the highest standards and practices for health, safety, and environment. We are convinced that we can and we should protect our people and the environment as the most important priorities. We will be facing in Kerp lots of challenges, and among them one is the large amount of materials to be excavated and transported. UXO clearance and management is also one of the major challenges for us, and we are planning accordingly. We consider that having the most reputable and capable contractors committed to keep the HSE commitments that KOC have is one of the successful factors, and we're striving to do that through evaluating extensively our contractors to ensure the HSE plans consider the necessary risk assessments and all the planning and implementation of controls to ensure the activities are carried out as planned.
For the past few years, we have remediated large amounts of contaminated soil that have ravaged our landscape because of the Iraqi invasion. This is only the beginning, and we will strive to accomplish more in the near future and bring back the golden sands to Kuwait. Our focused attention will be given to complete these projects timely, safely, and with the utmost concern for the people and environment of Kuwait.
Our mission has begun, and initial steps will be followed by many more. We realize that our work helps us to unleash the hidden treasures. So we will keep working together and will never stop digging to reclaim our natural environment.